Hi there. We're coming up to the Christmas period again, and that means that family and friends and people are going to be getting together to celebrate the Christmas season. I know there's some people who find it really exciting and love Christmas. I also know there's other people who find it very stressful and really dread Christmas because of the stress and the added pressures that it brings with it. And some of those pressures include, when family who may not have seen each other, for the whole year or for not for a long time, come together, particularly where within the family there are, historically there's been the Christmases and we all know about them, we've all heard about them, where family members come together and it doesn't always go very well. So I thought I'd just put together a couple of little hints and tips to kind of help you if this relates to you and your family situation at Christmas time. Just some things to be aware of, to think about, to avoid those family conflicts at Christmas time. But to begin with, I would just like to say, if it's possible at all, to eliminate alcohol in the mix. It's always a good way to start. But if that's not possible, to eliminate it completely, then just to limit it. Particularly if you know that adding alcohol into the situation of the family grouping that's going to be coming together at your Christmas event can often end with someone not handling it well, with there being a conflict at the end of the day. So alcohol, if that can be reduced or eliminated, is a good place to begin. Another good place to begin is for you to understand that you are the only person you have any control over. So it's no point going to a Christmas event hoping that other people are going to behave differently, because they may not. They probably won't. So the only one that can behave differently is you, because you're the only one you have control over your behaviour. So that's a good thing to know. And once you know that if you're in a family situation with other close family members, there's usually a pattern that occurs about the way that you communicate with each other. In every family this happens. So you know that if you say something that might create a little bit of a response from someone in the group, and you might intend for it to create a response, just be mindful and ask yourself, do I really need to do that? Because I know that's going to escalate and make tensions, and then they'll respond in a certain way, then you'll respond in a certain way, and before you know it, things have escalated to the point where there might be like an argument. So to avoid having those arguments, it's to be aware of what you're saying and how you're saying it, because as I said, you're the only one you have control over. So just be mindful of not saying something that someone else might take as having a go at them, communicating really clearly, really mindfully. So understanding that when other people's communication styles commence, that there's a certain pattern that they will pretty much always follow. And you, as a family member, will have fall right back into that culture of the family group, which is to know to respond in a certain way. So if your uncle says something about the Christmas lunch, you might take offence to that. You might want to come back and say something that's letting them know that you're not happy with that. Then they respond in a way, and it just goes back and forth and back and forth, and it escalates. So you have the control to be able to recognise when the uncle says that comment and make a decision to let it go, because you know that if you don't, it's going to escalate. So that's one thing that you can do. The other thing is to be mindful of this back and forth conversation that happens within families. When you're aware of it, you can go make decisions about, well, as they say, you can choose your battles. You can choose whether you want to respond, knowing that it's probably going to get another angry response towards you, that other people step in because they want to support you or defend you, or they want to support or defend the other person. It's understanding these patterns of communication, which are really important, and knowing that if you do respond, you might just decide to say, oh, that's just the way it always is, rather than have a comment about that's not right, or that's wrong, or that's not how I see it. You might just say, yeah, that's our family. Kind of like brush over it, if you like, to avoid having a family conflict. I call these communication patterns, it's like having a dance, when you're dancing with someone, like doing a waltz or something, you know that this move goes back, this move goes forward, this move goes sideways, this move goes round, and our communication patterns in families follow a similar pattern. And that this is the way you communicate. So if you know that, you can make decisions and choices to not communicate in the way that you normally would, which often then for the other person leaves them kind of wondering like what's going on. but it actually stops, a tense moment or a possible disagreement from escalating. The other thing is to say nothing and walk away if possible. So it's like you have control over you. You could choose to enter into those discussions, agreements, disagreements if you want, or you can choose to say nothing and you can choose to walk away. So it's like, as I say, you can choose your battles. Be mindful of your own language that you use. Be mindful that you don't want to escalate a situation. Make decisions about saying very little, not biting, not commenting back. If you know it's going to escalate, walking away. You have, there's several options. So I hope this little hints and tips about communication and how to prevent family conflicts at Christmas time has been helpful. Have a lovely Christmas.